Hello, everyone. If we could return and share. Are you guys done, Gary?
We're done.
All right, let's have everyone share and move on to the next section.
All right.
All right. Your group want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, folks. Gary's trio is going to go first with their rules.
All right. So in ranked choice order, integrity, parentheses honesty, is part of that. Capacity to listen, humility, and being open to feedback, and a good communicator, articulate.
Nice. Any other comments from the group, or no? Would you all mind sharing?
Sure. We didn't really rank things, but we all agreed that listening was important. Team building while consistently maintaining integrity and having a vision for the future, being able to anticipate problems and improve the situation.
Okay, thank you. And the table next to the next table?
4 traits was talking about insight into incorporating ideas and having a vision is one. And probably the most important we felt was communication skills. Be able to communicate what you're trying to say and relay it to other members. Be supportive of the people around you. And everybody's going to laugh when I say this. Reconciliation.
Oh, did we learn the rule?
The guy that laughed the hardest was the chairman of the planning commission.
You know your audience very well. Karen, would you mind?
Margaret, you'd be a good spokesperson for our group.
Thank you.
There's a lot of overlap.
We started out, we listed them, so we didn't rank order them. We started out with humility, which has been touched on before, something which is probably overarching trait for all of the other things to follow with it. Listening well, communicating well, keeping things simple and distilling things down to a really easily understood set of ideas or concepts. Evenness of temper, so that anybody that's dealing with you doesn't feel afraid to express themselves or talk through an idea. Vision was one that we also agreed on that has come up with from other groups. And my favorite, which is humor. That's a good
I like that one, and I also like being concise and keep it simple. That's a very good one. Debbie?
Short story here. So a lot of what we've said has already come up, but I think when we talked about listening, we really focused on listening to find a common ground, find common purpose to start out, build something to build upon. Stay focused on the outcome. We were talking about how the point is always often asked, to what end? It's easy to lose track of in these conversations. What are we actually trying to achieve here? Let's keep that in mind. And we didn't really rank these, but a willingness to share credit is really important, especially in kind of particular leadership environments that we're operating in. There's a kind of an inherent motivation to, kind of be competitive rather than collaborative in some times. And we just noted that it's on the whole, trust and credibility, it's not something that can be built quickly, but it can be destroyed quickly. And so the idea of kind of building over time the trust and credibility is a good quality to try to have.
Good.
One of the unfortunate things about being the last group to go is that you've heard all your answers.
Oh, we got one more.
Okay. Well, second to the last week of it. But some of the things that we talked about, number one, integrity. I'm sure. Having that clear vision and being able to communicate it as well. Making sure that employees knew that they were valued and actually sincerely valued, not just making them think they're valued, but actually valuing, each and every member of your staff and communicating that value. And then meeting employees where they're at, and then helping them, investing in them, and helping them go to the next level. Sort of on a continuous cycle, those continuous improvements.
Right.
Okay, so we pretty much all agreed on how to rank them. And so the first one was clarity of purpose, establishing a goal, and keeping everybody on track towards that. Number 2 was being a good listener. Number 3 was good communication, which involves empathy and also ownership by everyone. And the 4th was being a good delegator.
So the universal ones we're hearing are be a good listener, be a good communicator, and I guess the vision one came up a few times, right? Having a purpose, having a vision. So, interesting. Thank you for that. We're gonna slide right into team building and teamwork. I'm excited and happy to lead this part. Like we said before, this is about sharing our personal leadership philosophies, our personal leadership rules. There's many kind of, everyone has their own, and I'd like to use sports. Dean alluded to this earlier. I'd like to use sports and coaching as a metaphor for team building and teamwork, because I can't think of any other place that is a good metaphor for it. I mean, it's perfect, especially because, like Dean said, I've done 3 sports for 14 seasons. So I just finished my fall one, which is my 40th. So I know, I think at this point I know a little bit about team building, but that, and I've won over 70% of the games. And just to give you some hints, I coach at an all-girls school, so it is girls that I coach, and I have coached boys before, and now girls, and I have 2 daughters of my own, so I'm very much surrounded by girls, even 2 cat, or 1 cat happens a female. But, so when did I exactly understand what teamwork and team building was? I think my first season as a basketball coach, I spent 50% of my practices working on set plays. Does everyone understand what a set play is? Cut there, pass the ball there, run there, cut there, And curiously, it only produced about 20% of my points, but I was in charge. There were running set plays. That's how it was going to be. And we ran set plays our first year, and we won. We won 10 games. It was very much an improvement. So I thought, genius, I know it. Applied that same system the following year to basketball. Different group of girls, different team. They were going to do it my way. So again, most of our practice was done tediously learning set plays. It got bad. They didn't like being robots. They didn't like when it broke down in a game, a set play broke down in a game. What do I do, coach? Run the play. But coach, they know it. They're defending it. Well, run it. It works. Dads would come to practice to see what I was teaching them, because there was a little bit of girls weren't as happy and enjoying the sport. But I was still determined to do it my way. Even when we were 0-12, I was still practicing set plays. I didn't see the light until the best player in our program quit. And she quit because I had pretty much sapped the love out of the game from her. So I think that's when I started really looking at myself and just thinking, what am I doing here? And who is this about, And so it was really, back then, about me. And it was about winning. I didn't invest anything in the improvement of the players. What I did was invest in what I wanted done. So I'm gonna jump ahead and, if you look at that slide on page 12, I'm gonna share with you some of the things that helped me correct and right the ship for me, especially as a coach. Some of the things I learned. The first thing I did was I went back to learning the fundamentals of basketball, like dribbling, catching, passing, shooting form, how to make a layup in traffic, how to do a post move. I just went down the list of every basketball skill I could think of, and I learned myself the fundamentals. Then I went out and practiced them as best as I could. Because first thing I wanted to do is to teach them fundamentals, to make them not learn plays, but learn how to play. And so I think how does that apply to you all? Let me get to my notes here. If you are a member of the board of supervisors, learn the fundamentals of the job. What are the fundamentals? Budgeting, zoning, land use, planning. Really learn it. Learn it so you can teach it. If you don't know it, there's a lot of people on staff that can learn it. For me, at VACO, I do all kinds of stuff, communications. I had to learn the basics of newspaper design or newsletter design. I had to learn the fundamentals of that. I have to learn the fundamentals of social media. That was a new thing. I had to learn video production. Really learn it. So I don't want to just be able to edit a 2-second video or a 10-second video. I want to be able to edit a 2-minute, 5-minute video. So again, I think getting back to the gym, really learning the fundamentals, and what I noticed about the kids learning fundamentals is they started getting better. And they started realizing they were getting better. Then all they wanted to do was come to practice to get better. And then when they started doing those things in games where they would face pressure, but they would know how to handle it with the dribble or, pivoting or being able to handle pressure, fast situations because they've been drilled on fundamentals, then they started dreaming, hey, maybe I can score 10 points. And when they did that, hey, maybe I can score 15 points next game or grab 5 rebounds or whatever. So you started getting buy-in because people were improving. The girls were getting better. And if you get better and those around you get better, everything is elevated. But I only believe you can get better by truly learning the fundamentals of whatever your endeavor is. So that was the first thing.
Can I jump in on fundamentals just one thing?
Yes, sir.
From our perspective, at VACO, we offer new supervisors training, we offer certified supervisors class, we offer board chairman's training. Those are all fundamental things. We have a new supervisor's manual that's about this thick, that is full of fundamental things that you as leaders, county leaders, you need to know. Whether you're on the BZA, whether you're on the Broadband Authority, you need to look at those books, look at that book, and that is kind of like our Bible of local government. Everything is in there that we need to know. So, you need to be aware of that and know that as a resource, we are your resource. So, look at all of our programs that we have, and if you haven't done the Certified Suits, you haven't done New Supervisors Forum, you haven't done the VACO Conference or the summer meeting, you need to do something and participate so that you can learn and grow your knowledge, grow your fundamentals as a leader. So, my commercial's over.
The next point, as you'll see on that slide, is teach how to play and not play. So I decided run and gun. That's the new style, run and gun. Because scoring is hard. Find an easy way to score. Fast breaks, steals, just up tempo. If I have 10 girls, I need all 10 girls. Everyone's buying in, everyone's included, because now 5 girls can't run an entire game the pace we want to play. So I decided run and gun, fast pace, include everyone. Last game, we played 2 games this season. Last game, every girl on my team, 10 girls, had 4 shots each. Some girls had 12 shots or 15 shots because we're playing at fast pace. Guess what? 8 of the 10 scored. We're sharing the ball. So I developed a system where it's not set plays, it's play. So the fundamentals fit the system. Governing is hard. Find a way, set up a system that makes it a little easier for you. Find an efficient system. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you for basketball, set plays, walking it up, did not work for me. Sometimes the girls at the end of the game weren't even sweating. You know, this style, everyone's huffing and puffing at the end. Everyone feels like they played. You know that saying, if your jersey's not dirty, you know, at the end of a baseball game, you really haven't done much. Well, every girl, their uniform was dirty because they were involved. So how does it apply? You know, just find a way to make things easier for yourself. Don't make things hard. You know, if your way is only producing, like my set plays, I would practice 50% of it. If my practices were 50%, but only produce 20% of my points. Well, that's not good return. So I scrapped that system where now I'm practicing run and gun, the fast break, everything to do with full court conditioning. They're in really good shape too. You know, 40% of the time, and it's producing 60, 70% of my points. So that's great return, and the girls love it because, like I said, they shoot, they do everything involved. So again, teach how to play and not set plays. So the next one is you're only as good as your worst player. I decided we got to coach from the bottom up. We've got to include everyone because winning is better, succeeding is better when everyone contributes. So I decided that the last person on my bench is going to practice sometimes with the first team. That person is going to get coached. If individually we have to set that person aside with an assistant coach just to work with her extra to get her up to where everyone is, we're going to do that. Because we truly believe we want a team of just 10, you know, ferocious, you know, we just want aggressive, very, and we're going to get everyone there. We are dedicated to lifting everyone up. We don't want 5 and then 5 bench players who never see the court, and all they do is wear their jersey, your uniform to warm up and never contribute. That's no fun. That is not fun. Succeeding together, succeeding where everyone contributes, that's fun. And that makes everyone feel great. So, you're only as good as your worst player. I think, you know, encourage, reward your employees. Really show everyone that they're valued, wherever they are on the ladder. Put your resources into role players, not just your stars. Put them into your role players. They have value. They add value. And probably more than a lot of times we appreciate. So, anyway, next one. When making decisions, focus on a teammate, person. Like I said, I focused on myself. I focused on winning. Focusing on the person next to you as much as it is on you. Focus about it on, when you're making decisions, think about how it affects everyone around you. Think about the person next to you, how it will affect that person. And if you can, avoid focusing on something like inanimate, like winning, like a fear, like your image or something like that. Something tangible, something human. Make it about people. All right, just a couple more. Develop a next point, next play mentality. And here's what happened a lot. In games, kid makes a mistake. We yell at her. Kid doesn't like it, loses confidence. Now, kid makes a mistake. Don't worry about it. Next point, next play. Then practice the next day. Hey, this is what happened. This is how we can fix it. You can't fix anything at that moment. You really can't. But you can have keywords to encourage the person, hey, it's all right, let's move on, let's learn from it, let's go. Especially in live events or in high pressure situations, it does no good into calling someone's mistake out, making it look terrible. Next point, next play. Hey, it's all right, next point. And they get this, and they love it. Because because really, you will forget what mistake they made after the game, unless it's egregious, you'll forget. And so what was the point in yelling at them in that one moment, if you're gonna forget 5 minutes later? So for yourself to be a great leader, next point, next play, I believe that it allows you to be very encouraging and to help them have a trigger word where they just move on and yeah, learn from it. When you have a debriefing or a staff meeting down the road, then you discuss it, and by that time, emotions are lower, and you can discuss it rationally with each other and find a solution. All right. This is the one that I like. Players, and this helped me rethink because I was told this during that time when I was 0-12. Players don't always remember scores, wins, or losses. They surely remember how coaches and teammates were treated. I mean, do you all remember how a coach or teacher treated you when you were growing up? You might not remember the grade you got, but you'll remember a teacher, that teacher's influence on you, whether it was negative or positive. That's so true. People will remember how you treat them. And they might not remember a word you said, or any of your accomplishments. Or even give them any attention, your accomplishments, because they remember how you treated them. And if you treat them very well, they'll always remember you. People just remember that stuff. And as a coach, that's the one thing that got me, is this girl that quit will always remember me poorly. And will be saying, I quit basketball because of a coach who was terrible, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I will be remembered through this girl's eyes. So I'm not going to I'm not going to allow that to happen again. So just remember, whatever the situation is, it's how you handle it that will be remembered, how you talk to people and treat it. So, and the last one I think I have is, trust your assistants and trust your captain. Oh, I have two more. Trust your assistants and trust your captains. It was hard letting them go. It was really hard because I felt like, I was in charge. I had to do everything. No. It's, again, better when you win with everyone. If your assistant coaches, if your assistants have buy-in and they have hard responsibility, they're going to be more engaged. They're going to be more committed to the cause. And you're going to be stronger. And then when you win, that's great because you're sharing it together. Trust the people around you, really. You are in your leadership position because you understand people. You understand how to hire good people. And so trust them. And in the 24-hour rule that Dean says, so parents can be an issue, as you probably know. So I always ask parents, after a game, talk to me in 24 hours. If it's about playing time, anything, any issue, we can talk 24 hours. You know what? I would say 75% of the time, I don't even get a call in 24 hours. They don't remember. They don't care. It really is not as bad as it is right after the event, 24 hours later. You got home, you slept, maybe drank some wine, contemplated what you're about to say, said, that's not a good idea, then I go there. But that works for us. But at the same time, I try to be responsive within 24 hours. Here at VACO, we're always responsive to media inquiries, to membership inquiries within 24 hours. Now, if we can't answer, we'll let them know, hey, we just can't answer you right now, give us some more time, but we try to be responsive. But we try never to be impulsive, and never try to give an answer that we don't know or comment on something right after the fact. Because it's just not the best time. Especially after a board meeting, you are energized, Plus, the 24 hours allows us to go back and huddle up and talk as a group and come up with a unified message. And I can tell you how important a unified message is. So if someone comes to you in a grocery store and say, hey, what about this? It's okay to say, let me get back to you in 24 hours, let me check. Let me get you some good information. Let me see what the other people think. Let me get you a good answer. And that's okay. No one says you have to answer right now. So, I think that's all I have, and we are, oh, last one, if I could do one more. Yeah, and those will be quick. Build the player, build the athlete, build the sportsmanship. So in basketball and sports, build the player means build their skills, build their fundamentals. Build the athlete means build their conditioning, strength, and build their sportsmanship means, sometimes when we go as a school to another school, those people, those fans, those playing, the administrators at school may never step foot on our campus. The only image or the only thing they have about us is how they see us play. And if we're rotten sportsmanship, we're rotten and we complain, they're gonna think our school's rotten. And that's how people are at our school. And that's our one shot so we are always well represented. We remember when we go somewhere, we represent our school, and this might be their only chance to see us. They may never see us in any other connection. And if they see us as for sports, they're gonna think about us as for sports. So, be respectful, and I would say build the player is build your fundamentals, build your technical skills. Really be good at what you do. In terms of building your athlete in you instead of your conditioning and strength, build your knowledge, build your conflict resolution abilities, build your softer skills, build your mental toughness.